Hi, we're talking knees today. We're talking patellofemoral pain, okay? And we have a very gifted singer and songwriter here, so I'll introduce Stormy Hildreth.
Hello.
Hildreth. And then we'll introduce her boyfriend at the end of the video, remind me.
Yes, of course.
Because he is a magician.
Yes.
Very good. He turned her into a songwriter, so he's pretty good. Okay. So tell us about your knees.
Knees, both of them.
Yeah.
So I've been having chronic knee pain since I was about 4 years old. It was an early time to start. And I'm 24 now, so it's hard to do something for 20 years when you're my age, but there you go. It started worsening in my teenage years after being told for, the first decade or so of my life that it was just growing pains. And it would worsen with any activity, any running, dancing, swimming, anything like that would cause a really intense aching in the whole joint. Couldn't even really pinpoint where the pain was. And then finally in 2020, I had an MRI done and they identified it as Hoffa syndrome from a lateral tilt of my patella.
Well, I know what Hoffa syndrome is.
I do too, but you know more than I do.
You know what it is? It's you can't find the cause because Jimmy Hoffa's.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
So don't forget,
Yeah.
Jimmy Hoffa syndrome
Okay.
of the knee.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Can't find the cause. No one could find the cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No.
What did we do with your knee? We treated your right one, but not your left. What did I do?
Let's see. You started by putting some blocks underneath my low back, my hips, and let me sit like that for about 3 minutes. And then you did some cool maneuver with your arm underneath my knee. I didn't quite see that one.
Sure, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did, if you want to look at my knees now, I tested medial and lateral mobility, and it was lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at your body type and testing other joints in your body, that patella should have been more mobile.
Yeah.
And then you were laying on your back, and I lifted up your heel, and it lifted up quite high.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to hyperextend the knee. And then when you were laying on your back, I tested this load and posterior glide of the distal femur. It didn't spring.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a visual assessment. It was a passive end feel spring motion testing. And I surmised that maybe that knee was functioning in hyperextension with the femur glided back. Okay, Now glide is an important part of knee movement, and people learn that. The question is, what do you do with it? Well, I'll tell you what I do with it. I evaluate it, and I treat it. If it's lacking, I restore it. And so, here's a knee joint. Here's the patella, and this is the femur, okay? And so when we hyperextend by lifting your foot up, the bone glides forward and it rolls and it glides, right? And when you straighten out from above, when we're bringing the femur down, it not only rolls, but it glides posteriorly. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how in your history, nothing makes sense as to why your knees got that way. Mm-hmm. But they're easy to treat, and it's really easy to keep the gain of that mobility.
Love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you take courses in kinesiology. Here's a wonderful book on joint structure and function, Levangie and Norkin, an absolute favorite of mine. And then Donald Newman's Kinesiology of the Musculoskeletal System. But there's lots of other books that you read that you can access and learn about combined motion of flexion and extension with the glides. But I'm not aware of many clinicians evaluating the glide and treating them specifically.
Okay.
Let's have you lay on your back.
Okay.
And this is a demonstration of left and right movement of the patella, and it's just very small amount of movement. Now we treated this side, and now that patella moves quite freely. Okay, and I'm going to lift up this heel, and it lifts up about an inch. Scoot up a little bit so your heel is on the table. Okay, so the right knee I'm lifting it up and looking at it, it's less than an inch. Look at her left one. Let me get on the other side, please. It's more. That looks to me like almost inch and a half. And on this knee, I cannot induce any spring mobility. Now, if I come to the tibia, I can push until the motion stops, and then I can spring it and it bounces back. Okay, do you feel that bounce and recoil? On this side, again, we don't have that here. And then there's patella. And here, I can load it now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spring it. 1, 2, 3, spring. Did it bounce back?
Yeah. You
Absolutely.
didn't do that a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, it was stuck.
It didn't move. Yeah.
It was stuck 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Now, after I treated that, then your patella mobility improved. Okay?
Yeah.
And tell us how you felt walking after we treated that.
It was honestly bizarre. I couldn't tell at first what had changed. It took probably a couple minutes of walking back and forth through your living room. And then I realized that my knee was not hyperextending with every step.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that knee is going to behave for a very long time. Okay?
Yes, music to my ears.
I don't see a reason why you can undo that. Once the nervous system learns, like, yeah, this is how this is supposed to be. It feels good. I like this. It cooperates. Now, every time you walk, the muscle function is improved, and the movement is there. So your knee is going to naturally go into those movements, into those end ranges of glide that was lacking. It reinforces itself.
Yeah.
So this should be once and done. And I'll teach Matthew how to test you.
Okay.
We can arbitrarily test it once a week. I predict you won't need it.
Okay.
But maybe for a few months, test it at least once a month. If you go 4 weeks and the spring is the load and the spring and recoil is normal, then there's no need to treat it. And you can test it once a month for a few months. If you go 3 months, you don't need treatment. You're done. And my work is definitive. It's lasting. It's not, I'm going to adjust it and then you come back next week and do that again ad nauseum. You know, this is I spent, how long did I push to restore that glide?
I mean, not long.
It was 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But 3 minutes is 900 times longer than an adjustment.
Right.
Maybe that's wrong. Let's see, 60 times, 180 times. A manipulation is a third of a second.
Right.
And I treated that for 180 seconds. So 180 times 3, that's how much longer the treatment is.
Right.
And 3 minutes is a long time. I set the timer because I could daydream and think it's 3 minutes. It's not. And the technique I used was I laced my hand over here and I came here. Of course, it was on the right side. So I stabilized below the patella on the tibia, and I just lifted up with that arm to glide your femur anteriorly. I spent 3 minutes doing it.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your website.
You're better off finding me on Instagram, stormy.hildreth. Got some fun videos up there for you guys, and I'm working on a really cool new EP that'll be coming out in a couple months.
Very good. And the last name, once again, Hildreth.
That's correct.
Right? And then keep filming. Give me the camera and I'll get you. And then you can tell us about your stuff.
I'm Matthew Laszlo. I'm a magician.
Matthew who?
Laszlo, Laslo, at Matthew Laszlo Magic, and hitting the road in the fall.
And tell us a little bit more about your magic.
Been doing magic for quite a while. Since I was about 7 years old, my grandpa got me into it, and since then I've been fortunate enough to travel all over the world, performing and doing all sorts of fun, crazy stuff, and hope to see you live or through social media or something along those lines.
Or the TV shows.
Something like that.
And where's your favorite place to perform?
Oh my gosh. I had a lot of fun a few years ago in China. That was quite a production. It was pretty crazy to get to do that, and it really shows how universal magic is, that you can really do it around the world and people appreciated all over. So that
Have
was
you
a lot of fun.
Have you ever presented like to an indigenous group of children?
Not directly to like an entirely indigenous audience.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting with the cultural tie-in of magic and the meaning, and certainly something.
I think that would be
It
fascinating.
could be, yeah. Could
Yeah.
certainly be, yeah.
Cool.
So.
Very good. Well, we'll see you on the road, and thanks very much. And spell your last name one more time.
Laslo. It's Hungarian, but we dropped the
Nice.
Z, so less magical.
I seem to recall marrying a woman that was part Hungarian. I call her my Hungarian gypsy.
Nice.
She's also part Texan. Her daddy grew up in Texas. She's also related to Bonnie Parker.
Oh wow!
And I always sleep with one eye open.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.